But before I leave you today, I really wanted to talk to you about side hustles. I've gotten a few questions from people who are sitting at home during this pandemic, and they're like, how do I utilize my time? I'm nervous I'm going to get laid off. I want to make sure that I'm set up for success. And so I really want to promote the idea of a side hustle. For those of you who don't know what a side hustle is, basically it's a second job. It's a job that you have after work, that allows you, one, to make some extra income, but also pursue a passion that you may not get to do at work. So it gives you this chance to kind of spread your wings and do something that excites you. And there's so many different types of side hustles. So for example, for myself, I do comedy. I get paid to do comedy and I love doing comedy. That's a side hustle. This podcast is a side hustle. I love doing this podcast and I recently started getting paid for doing it. So it's a side hustle. I have an online business, and I will say to you that it has been my lifesaver during this coronavirus thing, because I have not received a single check from the government. And so I've got bills piling up, and luckily I have this online business. So that is a side hustle. And I do speaking engagements. I haven't been doing any right now because obviously we're in a lockdown. But when I do speaking engagements, I get paid to go and speak. And so those are all side hustles. I do them outside of work. I'm passionate about them, and I get paid to do them. Side hustles are also a really great way to test the waters. Say you have a business idea or a startup idea and you want to try it. You can do baby steps. You can just put your feet in the water and check it out and see if you enjoy it and see if you enjoy the work. And if you don't, then you pivot or you change it totally. You can always stop a side hustle. You're not invested in a side hustle. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why side hustles are amazing. One, you can learn a new skill or a new experience. So I started an online business, and I really just wanted to learn how to run my own business. I wanted to learn about managing and supply chain and inventory and marketing and digital media. And I wanted to be my own boss. And it's been an amazing opportunity to watch this business grow and like keep learning new things on how to make it evolve. You get to test the waters of something new and exciting without a full commitment. You get extra income. So for hard times, like when you're furloughed or when you're laid off, you get to explore a passion that you may not get to at work. So for example, I get to explore comedy. I get to explore this podcast. I get to talk to amazing people like Bob Sumner and Ali Velshi and Jeff Friday and Maz Jabrani and Tina Mabry and Felicia Pride and Maza Mengiste. When else would you get these opportunities to talk to these people? But I get to do it because of my podcast. And then you get a sense of fulfillment because like for this podcast, I get such a great sense of fulfillment when you guys email me or DM me or tell me what you liked about the podcast. Like that gives me this sense that I am doing something for the greater good. And so for me, that's super exciting. But also, like, you get to own your work. Like, your side hustle is yours. Like, you own that. That nobody can tell you that you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. Only you know what you're doing with it. And there's so many ways to do a side hustle, right? So, like, for one example is like you have a hobby. Say you have a hobby, which for me, like, actually, I didn't have any hobbies. Comedy kind of just happened. It wasn't really a hobby. But say you have a hobby, like you love being on the computer. You love design. You love graphic design and web design. You can start making websites for people. Say you're a musician, like your hobby is like you love creating music. You love putting together tunes and stuff. There's actually websites where you can put your musical tunes and stuff on the website and sell it. So for example, when you listen to this podcast, the intro music and the outro music, I actually bought that music off the internet. Like somebody had created it and I bought it. So you can turn a hobby into a side hustle. You can also turn in your job into a side hustle. So I'm going to say to be careful, and we're just going to jump right into like some quote unquote rules to side hustling. So one, don't do anything that competes with your main job. So for example, if you work for an oil and gas company, don't go and start consulting oil and gas companies. Don't use your company as a marketing tool to promote your side hustle. So again, if you work for an oil and gas company and now you're going to go and start your own oil and gas company, say you're going to start a side hustle where you're going to do either coaching or consulting, or say you're going to do website designs for oil and gas companies. I wouldn't say, hey guys, I work for X company, so that's why you should trust me to make your website. Like try to keep your side hustle and your real job super separate. And I say that because if you have a good leader, they should understand that a side hustle is an awesome opportunity to learn new skills and to develop yourself. But some leaders feel that you're not showing full commitment to your job. And so there's still a lot of learning for leaders around side hustles, but you also just don't want to make your company feel that you're using them. And at the end of the day, you're still an ambassador for your company, so you still want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward and you're still living up to the morals and ethics of that company. And I would check just to make sure. You don't need to ask anybody. Maybe you should, but I didn't ask anybody. But I did get the employee handbook and read just to make sure what I am and am not allowed to do in terms of a side hustle, because some companies are really strict about that. And then just make sure whatever you choose to do as your side hustle is legal, again, because you are an ambassador of that company. So like I said, you could turn a hobby into a side hustle. You can turn your career path into a side hustle. So for example, I know a lot of people like who are accountants, and during tax season will help people with their taxes. Like they'll do tax returns for people, or they'll tutor people in accounting at local colleges or schools. And so you can turn your profession kind of into a side hustle. And then there's people who are just innovators, who are entrepreneurs. So I have a friend who actually makes t-shirts. She screen prints t-shirts. She will design the t-shirt for you, like the logo, and then she'll screen print it on a t-shirt for you, and she sells t-shirts. And now with the pandemic, she started screen printing masks, and that's her new thing, and she's minting it. She's doing amazing. I have friends who had a sewing machine and used to make their own clothes, and now they're making masks. And so find the gaps in society right now. Find the gaps in the economy and see where can you fit in. A really cool thing right now with what's going on is like everything is moving online. Like Zoom has become the next big thing. But how do you take the arts online? How do you take creativity online? And so I have a friend, I have a fellow comedian who started an online comedy club. He's got a website, he sells tickets, he gets headliners to do these online comedy shows. He even has bouncers, so if you're making too much noise and you haven't muted yourself on Zoom, the bouncer will kick you out. Then I have another comedian guy who has started a website where he's put up all these comics to hire for virtual speaking events and virtual comedy shows. And so think about where we are going in this era of COVID, in this era of coronavirus, and how can you kind of find your niche. And I'm still thinking about that too. I'm still brainstorming about that too. But there's so many websites too that can help you with your side hustle. So for example, Etsy.com, if you're not familiar, Etsy is in about 70 countries around the world, and it's basically an online marketplace. And if you just go to Etsy.com, ETSY.com, you can find anything. And it was meant to be for artisan crafts and homemade stuff, and now it's just like, it's basically everything. And I have stuff on Etsy. I was in Kenya last year, in South Africa, and I found these bags that I really, really liked. And so I bought them and I put them on Etsy, and I actually created an agreement with the people that I bought them for. And we chat on WhatsApp that for every time I sell a bag, I send a portion back to them. And it's been an awesome opportunity to give back to where I'm from, but at the same time also experiment on Etsy. I have a Shopify store. So Shopify is an online platform and that's in 175 countries. And Shopify is amazing because if you want to sell a product online and you're like, I don't know how to sell a product online, I don't want to build a website, I don't know how to build a website, Shopify actually does all that work for you. It is a platform to sell stuff online, and then you kind of just plug and play the website to make it look the way you want it to look. And so that's what I do for my online business. I use Shopify. Then there's Fiverr, Fiverr, and I think it's 2 R's or 3 R's, or maybe it's just 1R.com. So if you're a graphic designer, a musician, or painter or something, or a web designer, or copywriter, an editor, or writer, you can sell your services on this website for people, and you kind of set your price, and then people bid on you or reach out to you if they want to hire you. There's Upwork, UPWORK.com. So say you are an accountant and you're looking for clients, you can put your job description or your profile up on Upwork. There's just so many sites. There's tutoring sites if you want to do tutoring for people. There's t-shirt sites. So like I said, my friend actually will drop the design and then create the t-shirt and mail you a t-shirt. But say you're a graphic designer and you don't want to actually make the t-shirts or hold the inventory for t-shirts. There's websites where you can upload your graphic design and then you promote the website, and then you it's by demand. So like say I want your design, I'll go on the website, buy the t-shirt with your design, and then that website will send you a portion of the sales. So they keep some because they actually print the t-shirt and ship it for you, but you get a portion because it was your design. And so there's just so many ways to side hustle, and it's really just about thinking to yourself, what are you passionate about? What do you want to learn? Or what hobbies do you have that you can take to the next level? And side hustling isn't for everyone. I'm not saying you have to side hustle, but I do get this question a lot. I've been getting it a lot over the last couple weeks. And because this is a creativity podcast, I hadn't touched on it, but I did want to leave you guys with this because I can sense from the emails that I'm getting that some of you are getting more and more concerned about losing your jobs, and you just wanted some feedback and some advice. And so I'm going to leave you with that today. But if you want to learn more about side hustling, if you have questions about Shopify or Etsy, or you want to take your idea and figure out how to monetize it, feel free to reach out to me. You can hit me up at hi@funnybrown.girl.com, or you can find me on social media at funnybrown.girl. I am taking, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, I am taking a break from this podcast for the summer, for June, July, and August. I will be back on September 10th. Again, we have an awesome lineup of guests for the third season, but I'm going to go live on Instagram. I'm going to continue to post these videos, these solo episode kind of chats on YouTube. So please follow me on Instagram, Funny Brown Girl, or on YouTube. My username is YouTube/C as in cat/Funny Brown Girl. I do not know why that C is there. If anyone knows how to get rid of it, let me know. But again, it's YouTube/C as in cat/Funny Brown Girl. And I'll still keep posting there. So if you guys have questions about side hustling, or you have creative questions, or you have general questions just that I can help you with, let me know, and then we'll go live, or I'll go live on Instagram or YouTube and answer them. Until then, guys, please stay safe. I wish you guys all the best for the summer. Please stay in touch with me if I can be of any help. If you need any coaching or creative, just somebody to bounce ideas off of, please let me know. And lastly, please join our Facebook community. It's a creative community. And I've been posting a lot of stuff there. So for example, Nickelodeon's writing workshop is out now. And anytime there's a new opportunity or a new grant, I'm posting it on there. So you can do that at funnybrown.girl.com/Facebook, or you can go to Facebook and then search for Creative Breakthrough Community, and it should pop up. Okay, until then, again, please stay safe. Please take care of yourselves. And again, I'm here for you if you need me.